Up your tank lately, then you know gas prices are skyrocketing. The national average for a gallon of gas is $3.18. That's probably music to your ears if you're watching in California, where you have been paying over $4 a gallon for regular unleaded. These rising prices has the Biden administration so worried they are asking OPEC, a group of oil-producing countries, mainly the Saudis and the Russians, to increase supply and thus hopefully lower the price at the pump. And all this comes after President Biden blocked the Keystone XL pipeline permit on his first day in office. The pipeline was designed to deliver hundreds of thousands of barrels of crude oil every day from our close ally Canada down here to America. Mr. Biden canceled it back in January because of climate change concerns, but now he says, well, America needs help. Here to talk about the rising prices and the White House asking for help from OPEC is Ellen Wald, senior fellow at the Atlantic's Global Energy Center and president of Transversal Consulting, both of which I think certify you as an expert. Nice to see you, ma'am. We appreciate it. Is this a preventable crisis that we are in?
So it's definitely a preventable crisis, and the fact that gasoline prices are higher is actually a result of a lot of things, not just less oil supply. And in fact, part of that is due to the fact that America is actually producing less oil now than it was before the pandemic. So we're partially responsible for it by not producing so much. And part of that is actually due to the White House's current policies. And it's not just the Keystone XL pipeline, it's also a high degree of regulatory uncertainty and the decision by the administration to put a moratorium on all new leases for drilling on federal lands. That's making drillers very hesitant to expand production.
Yeah, and also drillers very hesitant to go risk the millions of dollars if you don't know what the regulations are going to be like from the Green New Deal or other kinds of legislation. It seems as though, based on having to ask the Saudis and especially the Russians for help, for all the tough talk that Mr. Biden made during the campaign about getting tough with the Russians, this now puts Vladimir Putin in a much more powerful position.
Oh, exactly. And I'm sure that he's well aware that recently Russian oil exports to the United States are at their highest levels that we've ever seen them. So that's certainly another issue that he's thinking about. And the Saudis as well. I mean, right now, they must be completely kind of bemused or befuddled as to why the Biden administration would ask them at this time, because in fact, they actually are increasing production at this time and plan to increase production in the coming months. So the request really seems a bit off kilter for what's actually happening in the oil market.
When you say it's off kilter, do you think the administration realizes that and is just desperate, or are they signaling that there's nothing they can do about it?
Honestly, I think they're trying to kind of punt or distract from some of the other issues that are causing gasoline prices to rise, like inflation, state policies, more gasoline taxes, their own climate policies that have brought this on the people. And
so sort
OPEC,
of blame the Russians and the Saudis and say there's nothing we can do. They didn't raise production. Don't look at us. There's no secret among the Biden administration that they're trying to do everything they can to crush the fossil fuel industry and then to try to encourage green energy and electric cars and the like. And we saw the executive order from a couple of weeks ago. I guess the question, though, would be, does this mean even more pain at the pump going forward based on your description earlier?
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot at play here, and it's likely that as we hit the end of the summer driving season, that demand for gasoline will come down. And so it is likely that gasoline prices will start to decline in the future, but not to the levels that we saw last year and in years previous, because oil prices are higher. So it will be a persistent problem.
And it also takes a while for the wildcatters to go out, find the new wells, drill, strike oil, build the infrastructure, et cetera, which is very difficult to do and risky, as you point out, in this environment. Ellen, great explanations. We really appreciate it. Fascinating.
Thank you.
All right. You know, rarely when you're sitting around talking, do you hear people talk about the price of cereal or the price of movie tickets or the price of nail polish. They talk about the price of gas. It is the universal metric for economic and, more importantly, as we talk to our next guest, political discussions. Why is that? Kristen Soltis Anderson will have the answer. She's an expert in political polling, especially when it comes to how pocketbook issues affect voters. Why does gas prices resonate so much?
Three big reasons why gas prices resonate. One, almost everybody's got to buy it. Two, it feeds into the prices of everything else you're buying. You know, when you go to buy that cereal, when you go to buy that milk, it had to get to the store somehow. Gas is a part of that. It gets baked into everything you buy. But the third big reason is it's one of the few things we buy where the price is on the building. You pull up to a gas station, and even on days when you're not buying gas, you can drive by those stations, see what that price is, and go, that seems higher than it was last week. And so that's why, for so many people, the price of gas is not just a big piece of their family budget, but a sort of subconscious indicator to them of how's the economy going? How far can my paycheck get me?
Fascinating. We said you'd have the answer, and you do. Axios, our friends, had this headline: Biden White House jammed on gas price, and they attached this chart that shows just how much gas has gone up now, $3.17 a gallon, well above even where it was not last summer during the pandemic, but even the summer before. How high do gas prices have to go before it starts changing voter habits?
Well, it's already beginning to play a role in terms of people's assessment of Biden's handling of the economy. When you ask people what they're concerned about in terms of prices going up, gas is top of the list. And when you ask people why they think gas prices are rising, any prices are rising, they say it's a combination of the COVID-19 pandemic and government policies. The Biden administration bet really big on giving out stimulus funds, putting a lot of money into the economy. And there are many people for whom that stimulus check was really a lifeline. But it's also true that with all this money out there, people are saying, okay, well, now I'm seeing prices go up. Maybe all of these moves made in the first 6 months of the Biden administration had a different effect on the economy than I was hoping for. And if the economy's not looking good by next fall, that could spell trouble for Democrats in the midterms.
I thought what Ellen Wald had to say just a couple of minutes ago, and I know you heard it, was fascinating. She said one of the reasons to ask the Saudis and the Russians is so you have somebody to blame in 6 or 8 months from now for not having lower gas prices. President Biden also said this. Take a listen.
That's not what you'd expect in a competitive market. I want to make sure that nothing stands in the way of oil price declines leading to lower prices for consumers.
He creating a straw man there?
Well, he's in a really sticky situation on this because on the one hand, he's got conservatives who are going to criticize him no matter what, and with some reason, again, for all of those policies that your previous guests talked about that have caused the U.S. to produce less energy at home. It's made us a little less energy independent so long as we're depending on those fossil fuels. But he's also got his progressive side of his party that's going to push back on him and say, wait a minute, you're asking for more extraction of fossil fuels from the ground. We want prices to be going up on this because we want people to be looking for alternatives, to stop filling up their cars much, to move on to green energy. So by putting himself in this position where he's asking for other countries to step in and fill in the gap in oil production that we need, he's in some ways not making, well, he's certainly not making any Republicans happy, but he's also upsetting pieces of his own party as well.
Yeah, this headline caught our eye. It goes all the way back to 2006, this idea. NPR, environmentalists quietly welcome high gas prices. That was in 2006. You can imagine now they welcome them even more.
And imagine what was going on back in 2006. You had the Bush administration that had made moves toward tapping into our country's strategic petroleum reserves. This is something presidents do from time to time. We've got a lot of oil sitting on the sidelines in case of emergencies, but sometimes presidents will tap into it if gas prices get too high because they say it's in our national interest for these prices to be lower, for airline tickets to be lower, everything that gas goes into. But that usually is met with opposition from the other party. I suspect if Biden were to attempt to tap our own strategic petroleum reserves, it would then be Republicans pushing back on that a little bit.
Yeah, perhaps to do it a little closer to election time than right now as well. Kristen Soltis Anderson, as always, excellent, concise, thoughtful. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Leland.